All right. It has been quite a while. It's been like a month since my last upload, which has been crazy. But I am back, baby. Let's go. Let's see if I can figure out how to get the rest of this to work again. It's been so long. Yeah. So I came up with the idea, hey, let's, post a few times a week, whatnot, all the thing a month later and no uploads. not the best look, but the true YouTuber experience. Yeah, I got totally bogged down by a ridiculous amount of of work and life, which has just been crazy. That is the wrong color. I know what I'm doing, I swear. I've been working on a little bit of stuff, just a smidgen. I have not done much on my boat stuff or this. I haven't added any boats or anything right now. Plan on getting back to that later. This was just a small little project that I could sit down for small segments at a time, 5, 10, 20 minutes at a time. Just sit down for a little bit without any idea what to do while listening to like some sort of podcast or book or whatnot. And just sit down for a small break of time. Squiggle. A little bit of detail, a little bit of stuff. This is basically the baseline of life for the current area of the D&D world that we're talking about, the Boiling Wastes. The Boiling Wastes are quite an interesting place. I basically made a desert ocean. Desert definition being something along the lines of place without water. So by that definition, Antarctica does count as a frozen desert. And I think it technically does count for that. So what this does, this is a small little crustacean-esque creature that will take in kinetic energy and harvest that into its, it basically eats kinetic energy. And the way that it does that most of the time is it utilizes the natural wind formations of the Boiling Wastes to... Oh, what fun music. I'm so thrown off. Uses the wind formations of the Boiling Wastes to create sound tunnels, kind of like how a bottle will, make sound if you blow over it. It'll do the same kind of thing. This is the wrong style. There we go. Whew, it has been a long while. My sleep schedule got totally destroyed in work, and I have just not had a solid break in which I really felt solid enough to look at me reusing words and everything. It's been so long. I just didn't have a super good break on exactly when to get back to YouTube stuff, and so I finally got some with Thanksgiving and whatnot. So I got a little bit of breathing room, and I hope to grab this and just kind of hold a stranglehold on that and just keep up with all the stuff. Let's see. So huge amount of stuff has been going on. My what would it be? My CNC mentorship has been incredible. I love the guy who's teaching me. He's great, and I'm learning with my cousin, which is even better. But it also takes up a decent chunk of time. That hasn't been the main time eater. The main time eater has been an entirely different side project set up by the same cousin, where it just kind of wipes me out for the entire rest of the day, which is crazy. It's a ton of fun doing stuff with him, but man, he really figures out how to drain all of my time, which, slightly less fun. That's what's going on with this. Okay, great. I've been designing this over the course of like several days, so it's been quite a journey to finally get to the point where I can put everything together. It started off with like scraps of paper and whatnot, and then and we're finally to the point where I'm putting all the pieces together with some like nicer whatnots instead of just the bare bones scrap pieces. It's great. I'm super happy about it. I'm super pleased with it. Let's see. Oh, part of the reason why I got back on here was because YouTube totally just broke for me. So I had like zero way to sit down and relax much, in the sense of just like kind of not doing much and, you know, just rest. Have a little bit of time off for your brain, you know. I don't tend to do that a ton. I've done that a little bit more recently, just purely because all the projects that my cousin has me doing, which is great. And then his brother is also having me do quite a few projects as well, which is also a ton of fun. But let's see, can I get this to go a little bit lighter? No, I'll have to erase and then... I didn't have a lot of stuff set for today. I just knew I had some time. And, you know, work got put off for tomorrow, so I actually legitimately had time that I didn't have to, like, super worry about, which is great. So I, you know, hopped on. As you do. Let's see. I think this is looking about right. I just want to add more and more detail to this little guy. Ah, he's beautiful. Anyway, yeah, YouTube has been really wacky. It just stopped recommending me anything in particular that I want to watch, which has been like great for actually getting other stuff done, in the sense of like, you know, there's no longer that big thing of like, yeah, I could just sit down and watch YouTube for a while. No, you can't. There is no YouTube you enjoy watching these days, which is like kind of sad, but also, you know, super good for projects. So that's, you know, is what it is. It's nice to just, you know, be back drawing stuff again, recording things again. I don't know what to talk about. I could talk about the design process that I went through this, but, you know, I don't get a lot of engagement for... I think people's brains just turn off when I start nerding out about all of my D&D stuff, which is, you know, all good. All good. I have several people that I talk to my D&D stuff about that do the exact same thing. Whoosh. Yeah, it's just, it's nice to be back on here. I don't know exactly how long I'm gonna be back on here. I do plan on coming back. I've probably been around on YouTube for like half a year at this point. It doesn't feel like it because I have the classic YouTuber upload schedule, but it is quite interesting to see all this stuff evolve. I somehow got views without posting stuff, which is a first. I checked that like a day ago, and I apparently got views without without posting stuff. So that's new. I think it has something to do with how the YouTube algorithm is working these days. They did a update to it just a little bit ago. That is the wrong color. And so there's some interesting stuff going on around there. I'm just happy to like be chilling and be back again. It's nice. Let's see. I felt a little obligated to be drawing stuff and recording at the same time, because if I'm sitting on my computer and drawing, then I might as well be recording a video. which I suppose has some weight to it, which is why it's a little hard to shake out of. But the general setup of what I'm doing is like, well, I don't want to like be forced to have that obligation, because then I only improve my drawing skills on the thing while I'm recording a video, and sometimes I just really don't want to record a video, which is, I feel like it's fair. But the interesting setup about that is I've been like trying to break out of that idea, which is how I have, these little whatnots, doodles, sketches. So that's a interesting idea that I've just been trying to break out of since I found out that I was adhering to that, because then it makes it easier to do some background work. Now, if people want to just see me sketching and whatnot and just have some music in the background, no talkovers, I could probably do a few of those, and that would make it a little bit easier to upload all of that. But for most of my comments that I read, I get like the comment from the one person. You know who you are. I have one regular watcher, I think. I might have more, but I have like 2 consistent viewers, which is great. It's like I'm sitting here just making content for 2 people. It's really funny. But yeah, so I don't know if they're here for the art, here for the talking. I mainly have the art here as like a background thing, and gets me doing some stuff while I'm. Hey, I know this song. It gets me doing stuff while I'm talking and just blabbing my head off. That was a bad idea. Let's try this again. Yeah. So life has been good. Wacky stuff has been happening. I've been watching way too much politics these days, which is, really, really unfortunate. Because I don't like to get into all the political stuff, but I don't have a ton of talking points outside of that, which isn't good. But yeah, I've slowly been refining my D&D things, which has been great. And I mentioned a few times in a few other videos about making a video about, I should start from the top down, which is slightly unintuitive. Making a video about going through all of my D&D plot holes and fixing them all. So I might end up doing that again. I mentioned a few times, I haven't scripted anything for it, and I haven't figured out exactly what method I'd want to use. So there's some difficulty with that one. But I'm sure I can figure out a way if there's any interest. I'll probably end up doing it anyway at some point, even if there isn't any interest. Because tends to be what happens with all the YouTube videos that I'm making is, if I only cared about doing stuff that had interest, then I wouldn't, end up making much videos at all. I wouldn't have even started because there was technically zero interest for it. Because, people didn't know about it. I want these. There's something off about this crystal formation. I don't know what it is. What if it slides this way and goes like that? Yeah, that's better. Let's go. I've gotten slightly better at crystal formations after drawing these so many times. It's a little difficult to get it to feel right and also like kind of pointy, but not super ridiculous. What is this song? This song's nice. I hope I'm not like all over the place with it. I'm excited for Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is going to be a ton of fun. I I always have huge Thanksgiving parties with my family. It's wonderful. We get like 27 cousins, 20 cousins, something like that. Huge amount of cousins all in the same house, and then the aunts and uncles too. So we get like 30 something people all in one spot, and all of us just have a wonderful time with Thanksgiving. And so I'm really looking forward to that. And yeah, it's been great. I've shifted where I do work to the office of like I got family whatnots. There's a family business and whatnot. So I think I mentioned on one of my comments at some point that I have a family of lawyers. So I moved to I moved where I work most of the time to there, and it's been great because then I get to interact with all my family throughout the whole thing. So that's been a ton of fun. So I've been hanging out with them a lot more, which has been great. Let's zoom out, get a fresh look at all this. Yeah, I'm not a fan of how that top part is done right now. Let's see. The back here, the front here, a bit more of a crystalline rock formation here. And then another one that goes probably like this. From here out, around, down, across, down here, and then probably like this. Yeah. Something like this. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that looks way better. These are still a little chunky. I think I'm going to get rid of this guy. So yeah, I moved workplace to the family business area, and that's been great being able to interact with all of my family like that, you know. It gives a really nice fun aspect to come in, say hi to everybody, you know, we chat for a while and then get back to business and all the stuff. It's been great. So that's been a lot of fun on that particular portion of stuff. This should angle out more a little bit. It's got should have a little bit more meat on its bones. Technically not bones, I'm aware. It's a carapace. I just don't care. Let's see. Because I like that crystal structure, so I don't want to get rid of it. So I suppose I'll go around it and then erase after. Do 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 do. But yeah, so work's been good. Been having a lot of fun stuff there, but it has been, I kind of became the head of marketing and the head of like research. So a little bit of wackiness there. It's totally been fun, and it's absolutely been worth it. But it definitely has taken up like all of my time. So I finally like caved in a little bit and started getting help on all of that. So that's been a fun experience there, needing to tap out for a bit and, you know, ask for help. How does that work? I just left it open. So I think I'm going to add another rock formation here and then leave this front part open. Yeah. Cool. So, you know, life's been a little, you know, wacky for sure. For sure. The winter's been interesting. I've had too many people mess with me about actually getting accurate clothes on instead of just wearing flip-flops and shorts. So that's been pretty fun. But yeah, generally speaking, it's been great. I've just been really, it's not necessarily been totally, because I could have set aside more time for YouTube stuff. I just have not been heavily prioritizing it compared to the rest of the things that I've been up to, which is kind of sad because I do plan on prioritizing it more. These should have a little bit of a curve to it, even though technically speaking, they shouldn't actually be curving, because rocks don't tend to curve like that, especially these square type of rocks. But, you know, magic rocks. Who's going to blame me? No one's. If there's people getting on my case about it, that means I'm successful enough that people are actually getting on my case about the type of rocks that I draw, which would definitely be an interesting development compared to nobody caring about the rocks that I draw. But yeah, the general family stuff has been pretty fun. I finally am getting buy-in with my roommates so that I can create more structure in the cleaning situation, which is wonderful. That's a whole other problem though. So, you know, I don't need to get into all of that, but it's been a struggle for sure. I think this is pretty good. I think I leave these back ones way more vague, and it gives way more of an interesting feel to it. But yeah, I should be prioritizing it more. I should be prioritizing making videos more, because it definitely gives me like that project output that I like to look forward to. I have just it's so many other things have been eating up bandwidth. So it's not necessarily a time problem. It's that I don't want to spend all of that bandwidth. Now I have gotten a bit more bandwidth recently, which is great because I've, you know, offloaded some stuff, which has been wonderful to actually do. So I do plan on getting back into it, but I don't think I'm going to make any too solid commitments right now. And I think what I'm going to do is just spend some, just when I have some free time, sit down, see what some of the comments say on this for exactly what they want. Maybe like, you know, 20 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes of me just drawing without much commentary. Just have some music in the background or whatnot. I do like how this is going. I do like how this is looking. This is looking pretty solid. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a layer. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. But yo, I'm so good at this. Yeah, so I'm going to add a layer. I'm only working on that layer. Let's see what this looks like, because this was an interesting little thing. I can go through and I can highlight some of the stronger lines over here. I don't think I'm a fan of that, honestly. It gets rid of my sketchy. I'm gonna delete this layer. And see if I can remember. Remove layer. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this one. Remove from this tag. I think I like the rough sketchiness of all this. Ooh. Violin's such a wonderful instrument. I think I'm just going to add more solid lining to this then, rather than a whole other instrument. There we go. Oh, that's a fun little look right there. So if that's the look, then that means I want to add more to the underside of here. Here. Gives a fun little underlighting effect. Here. Over here I can do about the same thing. Working on the underside of this. Just adds a bit of thickness to it. Bit of rough color. And here as well. Nice. And I'll add some rounding pieces here. I don't know how much people are in this for the commentary and how much people are in this for the art. It would be interesting to know. So if you're here for the art, let me know. And if you're here for the commentary, and if you like a little bit of both, I'd love to know what the audience is here for, because it makes it easier for me to curate to that, particular setup when I'm feeling like it. If I feel like just drawing, should I record it with just some music in the background and not a ton of commentary? Or should I, only go through and make sure that I actually have something prepared to talk about before we get into the whole, video and whatnot. Anyway, I'll probably add a little bit more of, something like this over in this area. Not sure what to add over here, but we'll get back to that later. I'm really pleased with how this turned out. This turned out really well, especially zooming out like this. This looks great. Let's see if I can just get the... Yeah, that works. Anyway, yeah, it's been good coming back into the whole system, and some of my settings might be off. So if the music is a little bit too quiet, the microphone's a little bit too loud, let me know in the comments, and I'll I'll adjust it. It has been a while, and I have adjusted it several times over over several different video calls and whatnot. This underlighting needs some slight adjustment. Hold on. I'm perfectionist engaged. Needs just a little bit more harsh lines for the front of these things. And it will give off the illusion of some light coming off from underneath it. Okay. Yeah, that looks about right. And I'll add a little bit more of this to it. And over this way. Okay. Yeah, I think that's about it. So, yeah.